This episode of Food for Thought is brought to you by the listeners of this podcast. You can join others who are making this podcast possible by going to joyfulvegan.com/donate. Today's topic is small bites for big appetites. Welcome to Food for Thought. My name is Colleen Patrick-Goudreau, and I am your host. You can learn more about who I am and what I do by visiting my website, joyfulvegan.com. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing fabulously well. I'm here to announce a very exciting addition to Food for Thought podcast. Something I hear from a lot of you out there is your appreciation of my short, succinct responses to typical questions and excuses and justifications and misconceptions and myths related to plant-based eating and food, animals, nutrition, advocacy, veganism, and so on. And when we're talking about these short responses, I'm talking about 1 to 2 minutes, not longer than that. And so I've added a midweek segment to Food for Thought called Small Bites. They're basically sound bites, but because this is Food for Thought, small bites just felt more appropriate. Get it? Small bites, food for thought. Okay. So there you have it, small bites. And these shorter responses are certainly responses you would have heard in longer Food for Thought episodes, in my longer videos on YouTube called Vegan Point of View. And you're seeing them on Instagram. If you follow me over there, there's these short 1.5 minute videos. They were originally 1 minute videos on Instagram when Instagram only allowed 1 minute short reels, and now they're allowing 1.5 minutes. But I want to be able to share them with you in this context here on the podcast as an audio message, and they will be 1 to 2 minutes long. They're going to be all in one place, so you know where to find them. You can find them on my YouTube channel. I'm adding them more and more on my YouTube channel, and I'm also trying to get them up at joyfulvegan.com. Everything just takes a lot of time. But as a Patreon supporter, if you want the transcript written out, of course, you get that at the $10 a month level. Each and every week, you will get the transcript for these small sound bites, these small bites, each and every week sent to your Patreon account. So if that's something you'd like, it's basically 30 cents a day to support not only the weekly longer episodes of Food for Thought, but also these shorter small bites. So 30 cents a day gets you and gets everybody who listens and downloads and follows this podcast that content. Over the last couple of decades, I have crafted and honed dozens and dozens of my own responses to these typical questions based on my own life experience, but I also address the topics you have suggested. So, of course, always feel free to reach out with suggestions and thoughts by writing to me at colleen@joyfulvegan.com. Now, I certainly don't think my answers are the correct ones or the definitive responses. I hone my thoughts all the time about various topics, and I may even change my mind. And of course, there are many ways to respond to the same question, but I also know that the perspectives I share resonate with tens of thousands of people, both the content of the message as well as the tone. All that's to say is I share these perspectives with you, not because I expect you to memorize what I've written. Rather, I see them as ways for me to serve up, literally, food for thought as you work out your own perspectives and opinions and style and tone. I see my work as a template, as a model upon which you can map your own voice, and what you will end up with as a result will be uniquely you. At least that is my hope for you. So in our 17th year of the Food for Thought podcast, if you are following this podcast, we used to say subscribing, but now we say follow. So if you are following this podcast, you will see a small bite in your podcast feed each week. And if you have 33 cents a day, perhaps you'd like to support small bites in particular and Food for Thought in general. While typically the longer Food for Thought podcast episodes air each Friday, And Small Bites will air each Wednesday. I am breaking the rules this week to air a small bite with you today. Since I've been working on this project, I haven't had the time or the bandwidth to write a longer food for thought episode. So you'll see a small bite in your feed today after this announcement. Of course, I'm still offering online cooking classes. We've got space in my upcoming Joyful Vegan trips to Italy and France. And I still have some signed copies of my books for sale at joyfulvegan.com, which I won't be selling anymore after that inventory is gone. So check it out at joyfulvegan.com. Until next time, for the animals, this is Colleen Patrick-Goudreau. Thanks for listening.